Hey guys, welcome to this crap here, and we're gonna review a really sweet, really awesome movie, and I just did cocaine. Kidding, it's a joke, kids. But we're gonna review Face Off because I can eat peach for hours. Anyways, so it's about Nicolas Cage and basically John Travolta facing off. Literally facing off with each other, and the fact that their characters swap faces and swap bodies and swap minds and take each other's faces off. If that doesn't sound ridiculous enough, then wait until we get into the real deal of this shit. So, this is directed by John Woo, and he's known for Mission Impossible 2, and that's it. But for the most part, this is his iconic movie because this is just, whether you like this movie or you hate this movie, it's just beloved by a lot of people. Trust me, it's really iconic. There's a lot of fans supporting behind it. People still want to see a sequel to this movie. There's still talks of a reboot being done and everything. It's still going on in pop culture. It's referenced many, many times in movies and even in, like I said, pop culture, let alone that. So, you got that. But it's really iconic. It's really ridiculous. And it's got so much behind it that, interesting fact, on a side note, just a really funny thing that's going to add to the hilariosity that is Face Off, is that originally Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone were supposed to be both Sean Archer and Castor Troy. So imagine how much ridiculous that would have been. Hearing the lines that Travolta and Cage say in this movie come out of Stallone and Schwarzenegger's mouth. And they didn't do it because of reasons and stuff like that, and they couldn't cooperate and they couldn't work together. But in the end, they did the escape plan, which is not the same thing, but close almost, by a tiny bit. So, you have Castor Troy and you have Sean Archer. Sean Archer being John Travolta and Castor Troy being Nicolas Cage. And then Nicolas Cage is John Travolta and John Travolta is Nicolas Cage. They swap and they do this whole thing where it's like Poetic Justice. And that's kind of cool, honestly. The whole action scenes of them and the line itself, they call it Poetic Justice. But other than that, let's get into some really ridiculous shit that happens in this movie, because this movie is really, really ridiculous. I'm telling you. Like, just let alone the actors. Like, Nicolas Cage is just such a human... Yeah. He's such a human meme. Even when he's doing, like, John Woo Matrix shit, basically. Just his face is alone and him just... He's Nicolas Cage. He's like the most over-the-top actor in the world. So you expect this crap. And it's so much funnier to see John Travolta, like, he does fine as his original character, but then, once he becomes Castor Troy, he just is able to let loose and basically try and do his best Nicolas Cage and be over the top and be this really ridiculous villain with one-liners and everything. It's so fun for these two, and it's hilarious to see, like, kind of like... Because what's even funnier is Cage is usually the one that's the more over the top, and Travolta is the more like stern, sort of like stiff. You kind of expect in like Travolta in like an action movie or something like that, give or take. So it's kind of interesting to see Cage be the stiff and then Travolta be the over the top villain. And it works so funny. It's so stupidly ridiculous. It's funny. Like, the lines, the dialogue, the acting, let alone things like magnet boots. I can never get over the fact there's magnet boots. It's so stupid in a prison, but I can't even with it. And the boat chase is just such a John Woo thing in a John Woo movie. It's so cheesy. It really is. And it's like a low-budget Michael Bay action scene. I can't with this movie sometimes. It really, really has me going here and there. Whatchamacallit? Like I said, the iconic lines, the face-off, Page for Hours, Poetic Justice, every time you look in the mirror, you're always gonna see my face. Like, just ridiculous things, and the premise alone is just really weird. This is something out of, like, this was meant for a 90s movie, and this premise alone was made just feels like a 90s movie. Because if you try and reboot it, it's not gonna feel as, like, cheesy or over the top or a sci-fi, like, action, like. And also, it's unintentionally funny. This movie is so unintentionally funny. It's ironically not even funny. It really isn't. There's so many times I couldn't help but laugh my ass off for some of the lines here. Like, you gotta watch this movie to really see it. And besides the utterly unintentional funny scenes, it does have cool stuff, like cool action scenes, the cool moments between Travolta and Cage, whether it's the beginning sequence or the end sequence, like their showdowns and everything. It is actually really cool and actually genuinely kick-ass, I'm not gonna lie. But everything else is just really ridiculous. And just, I want to have one real quick thing. I kind of want to say the whole face-off thing, because Travolta's family has a thing where his wife and his kids, he used to do where, like, it's like an I love you thing, like with the face, and it's like, oh my gosh. So whenever whenever John Travolta was in Nic Cage's body, he went up to his wife and she's like, oh my gosh, it's not Nic Cage, it's John Travolta, not Nic Cage. That, like, I get it, it's kind of not poetic, it's very, like, might be sentimental, and I guess it's personal, because obviously, on a serious note, Travolta has Sean Archer has a vendetta against Castor Troy because he murdered his son and everything. So I guess this kind of has a more personal feel. But sometimes, like, I either can, like, smile at it and almost, like, feel like a tear come down my face, or I can just laugh about it. It's hard to be, like, very serious about it but at the same time, it's hard to really go ape shit, like, bananas laughing about it. Truly, like, genuinely. I'm not even joking. But it's just, I don't know what to really consider this, because it's so, like, it's not a masterpiece, but it's not complete dog shit. It's like this like, balance of a hilariosity here, or like a guilty pleasure. And I don't know what to do about this, honestly. I am baffled by if I want to say this is a complete ass, or if I want to say this is just a misunderstood masterpiece, or if this is just, maybe this is the ultimate guilty pleasure for people, because it has a lot of things that a lot of people can maybe, like, connect, whether it's something they thought that was funny, or something they thought that was cool, or just visual effects, or, well, actually, it's not really visual effects, other than the fact that you see, like, Nic Cage is, like, blood face at one point. I mean, it's ridiculous how it looks, but it's not bad of an angle. So, is that. But I don't know what to honestly give this movie, because it's interesting. You gotta watch this movie just to really, like, get an idea of it. But I think I'm just gonna leave this review as, like, a mystery. Like, I don't know what to grade it, really. I might just say it's like probably a. If I were to be, like, honestly, if I were to be, like, superly positive about this, I wouldn't even give this an A+. I'd give it, like, a star for just being, like, special, I guess. But if I wanted to really bash this, I would give it a complete dog shit sort of thing, just for fun. Like, I don't actually hate the movie. I don't know. I could take this, like, very serious, but I could take this very ridiculous. Or I can meet it in the middle, where it's like, this is probably a pretty good, pretty decent, okay movie, or this is, like, the perfect guilty pleasure. And I've encountered some really interesting guilty pleasures in my life. This has really set a higher bar for me in terms of guilty pleasures. Because if I'm gonna consider this a guilty pleasure, then guilty pleasures I see after this movie are gonna have a high standard bar. That's for sure. So, take this movie review how you will. I like this movie, but I also, not that I don't hate it intentionally. You know what? I don't really hate it intentionally. I just hate it jokingly because of how like ridiculously hilarious it is, and it's a hilariosity sort of thing. If you want, take it like that, or take it as the fact that this is like a guilty pleasure. But what are your thoughts on Face Off? Let me know in the comments below. What is your favorite moment from Face Off? What is your favorite moment, or what is your favorite quote from Face Off? And as always, guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please smash the like button. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. I do awesome videos every day, every week. And make sure you ring that bell to be notified of new videos, new content I put out every day, every week. And also leave your suggestions down below of any movies I should review, top 10s I should do, games I should cover, comics, vlogs, maybe do another podcast. Because speaking of which, I'm hoping somewhere down the line I could do another podcast with Jesse again. And I might have another friend of mine pop by. And then we'll do like, we'll do the podcast. We'll see how that works out. We'll see when we'll do that. And if you guys want to see more of that, let me know. I'm hoping this weekend to go see Onward. So look out for that review. Maybe you'll see like a first reaction, like of my first thoughts coming out of the movie theater, sort of like reaction. Maybe. So look out for something related to Onward sometime soon. Also look out for reviews of Cubed later on down the line, a review for Birds of Prey, a review for Rise of Skywalker, and also the other videos as well. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.